Hi everybody, it's Trisha the Knitting Lady. I don't know if you noticed any difference. No glasses. I only need them a little bit for reading and a little bit for distance. I go to the eye doctor tomorrow. I had cataract surgery, so for 1 week it was one eye, the right eye. 2 weeks later it was the left eye. So that was my month. July, my month of July, was busy going there. And I go tomorrow, which is the 14th, to do the final, and now I guess they check it out and I will need something for reading and something for distance a little bit. I could have avoided that if I went for, they had was it 4 levels or 3 levels? You could have, but it was extra money. I don't really have the extra money right now. Medicare covers the basic, so that's what I went for. And I said to the doctor, just like I said to my other doctor, which gets her mad, how much longer do you think I'm gonna live? I mean, I'm in my 70s, And they get mad at me, and she goes, I hate when you say that. Well, so I was gone 3 weeks for vacation. I worked. Tax season was over. Look at this. Oh, I shouldn't have makeup on. But then I was gone all over the country, drove up to Chicago, took the plane to San Francisco. We took the train from Berkeley back to Chicago. Then we got in the car, drove up to Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, drove all over the place there. I dropped off my son in Grand Rapids, was it? Michigan. And traveled from there, went to Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then the Football Hall of Fame, and then went to West Virginia, went to a national park there, then drove home. So all in all, and on the way up, I went to Georgia. I stopped in Georgia, Alabama, went to Huntsville, Alabama, where there's a space center. In fact, the beginning video you'll see is the launch from Cape Canaveral, which is about 100 miles from me. But we can see the launches, the rocket going up. I have to get down there for a launch. But they have a launch almost lately. It's like every other day. I think we have another one tomorrow. I don't know what they're sending up there half the time. I really don't. But that one, no, that one was okay. But there was one the other day that kept getting scrubbed and kept getting scrubbed because of the rain. That's time of year, In fact, they're looking at tropical storm. As one of the podcasters, this one guy, oh my God, it's Wicks. He's always talking about Florida. It's rain with a name. That's what we have, rain with a name. So I was going to change the name of my station to something else because when I do markets, it's Tab, the artistic blend, because it's not just knitting, crocheting, it's painting, it's other stuff. But I'm going to keep it for now. But I'm going to try to be a little more edgier, try to get back into my comedy. So, but in the meantime, I live in an apartment complex. There's 15 different buildings. They've been working, they said it's going to be a 3-year project, divided 5, 5, and 5. So we were part of the first 5. So I'm in building 10. And they're redoing all the siding. They redid all the siding. Now, when I came back from vacation, we had to move everything off the porches. We have screened porches, and they were painting. So they painted the inside of the porch and all the outside, and they tore the screens off. So our screening porches are not anymore. We're supposed to get new screens. I don't know when that's going to be. They're taking their sweet time with all this. So all my stuff is still all over the place. My friend in one of the other buildings, she didn't take things off her wall, and there was so much shaking, a lot of things fell and broke, and I didn't want that to happen. So I took everything off my walls. I finally put one painting back, but I figured, okay, this is a way to redecorate and go through my stuff, and I want to get rid of stuff. So I did sell something yesterday, a display case, and I'm looking through my yarn. I'm trying to sell that. I'm trying to sell different things, and also looking for a job, because I don't want to go back to doing taxes. So I'm redoing my resume. I'm supposed to be taking a course online, which I haven't been good at doing either. Because it's pool day in the morning, you know. I'm part of the noodle club. We go out there and float around with our noodles and doing our aerobics. So, you know, plus going back and forth to the doctor, etc., etc. So everything's a little bit of a mess right now. And I'm trying to decide what else I want to do with my life. I only want a part-time job, and I don't want to go back to doing taxes. And people said to me, well, you could do them on your own. Well, that's not always that easy. And again, very strict with that. You have to have a certain e-file registration. You have to have certain requirements with that. I looked into all this. I have to have insurance, liability insurance. And I counted all the cost up. I mean, I got a new computer last year, so that was taken care of, thinking I was going to do this. But then I kept looking more into it, and I'm going, you know what? I don't want to do it anymore. It's too many headaches, you know, because when I do taxes, you don't make money off like ordinary everyday, you know, individual taxes. You have to get into the company, and I'm qualified to do all the company taxes. The only thing I don't touch is oh dear, what is it called? Somebody dies. I'll think of it. See, this is what happened to me too. Boom, that thought just went out. I don't want to get into all that. I just don't want to do it anymore. I never had a job that I loved, or a job I really had fun at, and I would like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to redo my resume, looking for different things to do. And in the meantime, of course, prices don't go down. You gotta watch every penny. I went to the Daytona flea market where I've done before, you know, rent a table, but it's dead right now. In fact, I had met people last year, and I ran into them, and they advised me. They said, wait till October, don't do it now. So I'll wait. But in the meantime, I'm trying to get organized for that too. So everything is all over the place. You see all my yarn. In fact, I did do one thing. I put it all in a book. So I have the different, you know, cubby holes numbered, so I know where everything is. So that's my book, you know, tells you what weight of the yarn, what make, blah, blah, blah. So I have that all in my book, you know. That's how much yarn I have. Plus the extra you sew on the side. So trying to think of things to do with that. So like I said, I'm all over the place. Meanwhile, I don't know what it is, but I'm divorced. I've been divorced a long time. I gave up. I'm the kind of woman who meets all the wrong guys. There'll be 100 men in the room and I'll pick the jerk. I'm just real good at that. So I have given up on that. But a lot of these women's groups, they're married, and as soon as they hear you're divorced, it's like, keep her away. No, I don't want your husband. I'm sorry, I don't want him. It's good for you. But, and then I don't have a house. I don't have any grandchildren. So I don't fit in. And people say, oh, that's not true. And I said, it is true. There's another lady, there's a couple of us in the noodle club that are in the same predicament, and we all say the same thing. They don't want us around. And I found out the other day, someone I thought was my friend, really thought it had nothing to do with my time. So, those last minute invitations. I always say when someone invites you last minute like that, they don't really want you to come. And I was a little annoyed at her. I am annoyed at her. She gave me, she was going to go down and see a launch. She gave me, and it was a text message. And what if I didn't see it? Gave me half an hour to get to her place. She lives on the other side of town. But I felt like saying to her, what, do you assume I have nothing else to do? And I said to her, I just saw this. She goes, well, you still have time to get here. I'm not coming. No, that launch is scrubbed. I thought to myself, well, that's what you get. No, isn't that nice? I'm so nice, aren't I? I'm a New Yorker. I can be very, I know what to say. We just say what's on our mind a lot of times. So that's my life right now. I'm still doing the knitting and crocheting and trying to get on top of other things. So I decided this is going to be my channel from now on. It's going to be a mixture. It's not just going to be knitting and crochet. I'm going to talk about how I feel about things. I'm not going to get political, so don't worry about that. But everyday life is crazy, So if any of you have suggestions on what I could do part-time, besides working in a store, I have to get up on my Excel skills again, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing the online class on, which I keep putting off, because it's boring. Taxes are boring. People are saying that about, why don't you go back to taxes? I said, do you know how boring taxes are? You go read, you're trying to keep up on things and you're falling asleep. It's not easy. I mean, I'll do my own taxes, maybe do a couple friends, but it's not worth it for me to set up a business. Plus, like I said, I don't want to work all those hours anymore. And this past season, they had me doing international taxes. Here I am, working, and on my off time, I'm studying taxes from Italy. And people, I don't know what it is about my look. People don't believe when I tell them these stories. Do I look dumb? Maybe I do. So that's going to be it. You'll see some little shorts. That's about it, I'm still Trisha the knitting lady. And I still crochet and do all this other stuff. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye. Okay, this is my wall of yarn, and I know this all looks very messy, but everything's in transition right now with them working on the apartments. And see, I have even more yarn over there. But I'm going through it. I'm going to sell some of it, or see if I can sell some of it on Marketplace on Facebook, and even go through my crochet and knitting books. Like I said, everything's in transition. Now up there you see my my stuffies, I call them. You know, I even have my flowers I usually out on the porch. It will all get figured out once they ever finish. This is the, there it is. Okay, this is the jacket I made out of all the different yarns. I still have to wash it and block it. And it will be good for when it gets a little colder around here in Florida. And maybe if I get back to doing a market again, you never know, somebody might buy it. This is the crocheted boomerang shawl. And I have more yarn. I'm going to make a matching hat. And I'll see what happens if I use it if I go up to New York City this winter. Not, maybe someone will buy that too. Okay, I'm out on my porch. They didn't replace the screens yet, so I can't keep anything out here. But I went out because I put some things out here to dry. And what the heck is that? Isn't that crazy? I have no idea.